Gyeonggi-do, South Korea, August 7, 2025. The shocking news came from the South Korean military. Cha Eun-woo, a member of boy group ASTRO who is currently serving in the military, has reportedly resigned from his position as division chief in his military unit. This decision caused great concern within the unit, until it ended up becoming a serious highlight in the military command environment. According to an internal source, one instructor reported the situation to another fellow instructor. This information then reaches the ears of the major commander in the military camp, who immediately orders further investigation into the reasons for Cha Eun-woo's resignation, as well as the dynamics taking place within the division. As a result of this report, the matter has now been officially brought into the realm of military law and is scheduled for trial in the near future. The military trial aims to explore the background of the resignation decision and evaluate whether there are violations of procedures or internal pressures behind it. The military has not made any official statements to the public regarding the details of the case. However, the military spokesman said that every member, both civilian and public figure, has the same responsibility in carrying out military duties. Legal procedures will be enforced fairly in accordance with applicable regulations. Until this news was revealed, Fantaejo's management agency, which oversees Cha Eun-woo, had not yet given an official comment. Cha Eun-woo officially began his military service on July 28, 2025 and is known for showing high discipline during his training. However, this situation adds to the question mark among fans and the public, who are waiting for clarity from the results of the upcoming military trial. After it was announced that the case of Cha Eun-woo's resignation from the post of chairman of the Central Division was being processed in the realm of military law, some preliminary information from the internal investigation began to come to light. According to a military source who declined to be named, there are indications that the decision to resign was not strictly personal, but rather was triggered by internal dynamics within the unit involving tensions with fellow members of the division. The situation is quite complex. There is a mental pressure that is felt, not because of the lack of ability or discipline of the person concerned, but because of the internal dynamics that we have not been able to reveal in detail at this time, said an instructor anonymously. The military trial is scheduled to be held behind closed doors to keep the identities of other military personnel involved confidential and to maintain the camp's internal stability. The military commander has also ordered that all personnel directly or indirectly involved in the case testify under oath. Until now, there has been no indication of severe disciplinary violations by Cha Eun-woo. However, the trial is seen as an important step toward enforcing accountability and transparency in the military system, including against celebrities serving in the military. Gyeonggi-do, South Korea. The situation surrounding Cha Eun-woo's resignation from his post as division chief in his military unit is growing increasingly serious. Based on the results of a preliminary investigation compiled by the military, it was suspected that the decision was not only caused by personal reasons, but was also triggered by internal pressure in the organizational structure of the unit. One of the instructors in charge of training in the unit reported disharmony among some members of the division, including persistent dissent and potentially destabilizing command. The report was forwarded to the main commander, who then decided to take the case to a military trial in order to explore all relevant aspects. No one is above the rules, including those from among public figures. If there is a discrepancy in the command system, it must be traced with a fair and objective process, said a military representative who did not want to be named. The military trial is scheduled to take place behind closed doors in order to maintain internal integrity and protect the identities of other personnel involved in the dynamics of the case. The military insists that this process is not intended to punish, but rather to unravel the root cause and ensure stability and discipline within the unit is maintained. To date, no serious violations have been found on Cha Eun-woo's part. However, the sudden decision to resign from the leadership position remains of great concern, given the strategic role it plays in regulating the operational and training course of the division. Cha Eun-woo's agency Fantaejo has yet to give an official statement. On the other hand, fans and the wider public are now waiting for clarity on the results of the military trial, which is expected to provide a complete picture of the real situation. Cha Eun-woo, widely known for his music and acting career, officially began his military service on July 28, 2025. Previously, he received praise for showing high commitment in undergoing military training and discipline. However, This latest development shows that even a well-known figure like himself cannot escape the complexities of a stressful military life and heavy responsibilities. The military promised to provide updates after the trial, in accordance with transparency and public service ethics, Gyeonggi-do, South Korea. An internal source from the military environment said that Cha Eun-woo's mental stress was allegedly one of the factors that prompted his decision to resign from the position of division chief. Although there was no direct statement from the relevant parties, some unit colleagues said that the responsibility as a division leader gave a psychological burden that was not light. The position of division chief is not just about command. The mental burden is huge, especially for someone from a celebrity background like him, said a personnel who knows the condition. According to the source, Cha Eun-woo has been known to carry out his duties with high discipline and has never shown an indisciplined attitude. However, since recent times, he has been seen as more introverted and focused on performing tasks without much social interaction outside of training. South Korea's military has been putting a lot of emphasis on mental health during conscription, especially since several cases of psychological distress among young soldiers have caused national concern. Therefore, the decision to hear the case also includes an evaluation of the psychic conditions and social environment that affect the day-to-day of the members. The military spokesman stressed that the trial is not aimed at punishing individuals, but as an evaluative measure to improve the system and detect gaps in the organizational structure that could endanger the moral and mental stability of soldiers. Follow-up plan: if the court finds that Cha Eun-woo's resignation was due to an overload of responsibilities that exceeded his capacity or due to unhealthy internal dynamics, the military will consider rotating positions or reviewing the leadership system in the division. Meanwhile, Cha Eun-woo still performs his duties as an active soldier even without additional structural positions. He kept up with the entire training schedule and daily obligations like any other soldier. The public is now waiting for the results of the military trial scheduled to take place in the next 2 weeks. Official results will be announced through a press release if declared safe for public consumption, without compromising military secrecy. Gyeonggi-do, South Korea. The case of Cha Eun-woo's resignation from the post of division chief that led to a military trial not only seized the attention of the internal military, but also sparked heated discussions in the community. Many people consider that this incident could be an important momentum to evaluate the leadership system and the distribution of responsibilities in military units, especially for personnel with non-military backgrounds such as celebrities. The Monitoring Organization for the Rights of Young Soldiers in South Korea also expressed concern about the pressure that soldiers who are suddenly given great responsibilities in a short time may experience. Strategic positions such as division heads require thorough debriefing, both technically and psychologically. Otherwise, the pressure could have an impact on the entire unit, said a civilian military analyst. Meanwhile, Cha Eun-woo's fan community, both domestically and internationally, showed their support through social media. Many of them expressed the hope that the idol would be given fair treatment and not be subjected to internal pressure simply because of his background as a public figure. Hashtags such as #StayStrongEunwoo, #JusticeInMilitary, and #support for Cha Eun-woo began to be widely used. However, some military observers also remind that all soldiers are obliged to follow the military system and discipline as a whole, without exception. They support the military's move to continue to carry out legal processes in accordance with applicable rules, while ensuring that there are no human rights violations or excessive mental stress in the system.